So Lana Rhoades just rug pulled her NFT project and ran away with $1.5 million. Now she's claiming it's not her fault. Her community was just getting too negative for her. One of those negative comments was about how this person can't feed their kids because they invested it all into a Stars JPEG collection. Quote, I spent what I can't lose, spent 4K. No job, have a 2-year-old son. If only someone bought my Christmas, Lana. Yeah, and apparently Lana Rhoades saw this post and said, hey, this is getting way too negative for me. I'm out.
What's up guys, Derek, moreplates.com. Today we're going to be talking about Coffeezilla's video exposing Lana Rhoades' NFT scam. This is another celeb that has jumped on the NFT train and is willing to completely compromise her credibility long-term with her audience and fuck people over for short-term monetary gain, evidently, which is wild to see how many people are willing to do that. Logan Paul, like Lana Rhoades, tons of fucking influencers are getting on the bandwagon of pumping out some bullshit and, you know, willing to just for a quick buck, even when they're already rich. Like, that's the thing that makes no sense to me is long-term, the amount of the loss of credibility and the loss of like overall trust you have with your audience, as well as your lack of ingenuity, uniqueness, etc., in actually putting out a quality product. Like, you're just pumping out just random horseshit, like Logan Paul slamming together 2 fucking Shutterstock images and selling them as, you know, goddamn like $10,000 images of fucking like imaginary animals for his NFTs that clearly he doesn't give a fuck about. That kind of stuff is just so lazy, so transparently bullshit that when you scam your audience like that, like maybe people forget, maybe people will, I don't know, like underlyingly, I think these people just have a lower level of trust whereby they are compromising their brand integrity long-term, where they're gonna be a more flash in the pan influencer who will eventually fizzle out because they have no long-term, I don't know, ability to stay relevant above and beyond their flashy kind of, I don't know, like using their clout to get high level interviews on podcasts and shit. Like, I don't know. I just think their ability to put out good products that people actually trust for the utility of the product is severely compromised, and people can like really doubt that they put out shit that is, I don't know, of worth, you know? And then in the long term, a lot of these, you know, young, really, you know, trending influencers fizzle out, and their brands, whatever they're standing on product wise, the quality of those products and what they've done on their track record is going to ultimately dictate if they continue to have success and grow as they are phased out of, you know, relevance essentially. So unfortunate to see another situation like this where somebody's willing to just fucking, you know, completely slap their audience in the face essentially. So here's Coffeezilla again with another. Like, he basically just exposes influencers. Like, he does a lot of stuff actually that's not just in the influencer space, but one of the main go-to kind of, I don't know, videos of his channel is exposing NFT scams, crypto scams, and just overall, like, I don't know, horrible practices by influencers and whatnot who are taking advantage of their audiences. So anyways, let's get into it. I have not watched it yet, by the way.
Today I was accused of being an
I'll put a link in the description, by the way, to this video in case you want to go drop a like on it and check out his channel. He has a lot of really interesting content on influencer scams and whatnot.
internet sicko, a guy that would do anything for views. My accuser, Lana Rhoades, she fired back at me today saying, you shouldn't worry about the NFT scam. Don't you know there's a war going on? Saying people who are concerned about her scamming investors are being stupid.
Man, I gotta like turn down the
Because, quote, people are living in fear for their life in Ukraine right now, and people are worried about NFTs? What has this world come to? And I know what you're thinking. Yeah, what has this world come to where a girl can't get a free pass on a scam, dude? You hear what Putin's doing? I mean, look, I'm just going to respond to this real quick. I don't feel like it needs it, but we know, Lana, 2 bad things can happen at the same time. Just because we're talking about you doesn't mean we forgot about the tragedy in Ukraine. Just because we point out one bad thing doesn't devalue the other thing. We're all adults here, right? In fact, I dare say it, we might be able to hold a third one. Hold on one second. Let me try to create it without losing all knowledge of Ukraine. Maybe using war as a cover for your scandals is bad. Maybe that, I don't know. Did you guys all forget about Ukraine for a second? Honestly, I did real quick. But this rubbed me the wrong way, guys. In part because of a situation going on here at Coffeezilla HQ. Many of you guys don't know about. But those OGs do, which is that all of this, all of Coffeezilla really, is designed, created by a Ukrainian. Even I am the creation of a Ukrainian. His name is Ed. We've had him on the channel before, aka Young Pixar, as we like to call him. As of yesterday, he's stuck in Ukraine. He literally can't leave. His country's being invaded, but Ukraine won't let young men leave because of like rules about men under 60 leaving the country. It's very confusing. And I've been calling everyone, trying to use every ounce of influence I have to get this guy out. I barely slept. And then this chick, Lana Rhoades, comes and goes, hey, stop being mad at me, guys. You hear of Ukraine?
Fucking absurd, dude. Like, I don't know if you guys followed some like the gambling scandals and some of the stuff that was going on with influencers before. Names escape me off the top of my head. I'm pretty sure some of the most brutal crypto scams involved like Rice Gum, I think Summeray, and like some other, like big names in the YouTube world that I don't know if they're still like big trending, like relevant stars or whatever, but it's like, those stars that were kind of like known for like getting their bag kind of thing, they were willing to just compromise their entire like life's work just to get like a couple, get $100,000 quick or something like that. Like, it's just fucking baffling what people are willing to do. And they're just like not long. Even if you're like a fucking sicko on the internet, you're like, you would think you'd at least wrap your head around being like longevity minded in that you are trying to become like you are leveraging some sort of monetization of your channel or your, Instagram or like whatever it is. And that kind of credibility is going to extend years in the future. Just because you're like 21 now, how are you going to make that a long-standing career if you just make a quick buck now and then no one trusts you again because you're known as the guy who like gets the bag for like promoting complete horseshit? Like, even the people that were promoting the gambling thing that were willingly telling their audience to basically go lose money in order to support them getting a big payout from like a gambling site that has like huge amounts of authority and control over what the outcome is too. And illegally gambling and this and that, and the fucking manipulation with the crypto industry. Like, there was so much that went into it, and I am not doing it justice whatsoever, even attempting to talk about it. That's where Coffeezilla comes in. He has like full-blown, like essential fucking documentaries on the subject matter. That's why I highly recommend you check out his channel if this stuff interests you. But for Lana Rhoades to defer to what's going on in the world right now as like, how can you even focus on what I'm doing, what's going on here? Like how the fuck can you even come up with that statement and think it's a reasonable, logical rebuttal? Like, it makes no sense.
Don't you know people are suffering? Yeah, I think we caught that, Lana. Thanks, though. Here's a take that might get me in trouble. Just because Putin exists doesn't mean you're a good person, right? Just because there's someone worse than you doesn't make you better, right? Maybe if your argument for why you're a good person is that you haven't invaded anyone yet, maybe that's not a good call. Anyway, I got Ed's permission to talk about this publicly, and I just wanted to say before we, get to the next part of this segment, if you're in Lviv or have sway to get people out of Ukraine, please contact me on Twitter or by email. That's all I wanted to say. But now with that out of the way, I also want to address some other stuff that was said about us, me specifically, which is that I was accused of being an effing sicko, a disease of the internet who will do anything and say anything for views. Now, I'm going to be honest here. I didn't have it on my bingo card that Lana Rhoades would accuse me of being the one to do.
Yeah, here was another brutal one. Ice Poseidon, who basically went on record saying he scammed his audience. And he even said, he's like, yep, I did it. I'm not going to give the money back. Like, how fucked up, dude? Like, how short-sighted are you?
Anything for views, but here we are. I guess I'm just wild like that, just crazy. I'll say anything. Things like, my number one goal for this project is to increase the value of CryptoSys NFTs and make it a lucrative investment for holders. I mean, I'll say it. Oh, wait, that wasn't me who said that. That was Lana Rhoades. She's the one who abandoned the project.
Yeah, so if you guys don't know, Lana Rhoades basically came up with an NFT project, which is just like, I don't know, like random cartoon pictures of herself, essentially. Had this big like map of how they were going to expand it and do this and that. And if the description in the NFT space on a lot of these like projects is so bafflingly absurd that people really get on board with it. You buy a picture of like a fucking cartoon alligator with a cowboy hat on, and then it's like, we're going to, you know, have availability for you to make like a RPG game out of this and this and that. And like somehow all of these random things that have not yet occurred are going to increase the value of your random JPEG of like a fucking elephant with a koala bear ass. Like, I don't know. Like, that's the kind of shit that, you know, Logan Paul sells. So that kind of shit is what's going on. And people will just hop on the bandwagon because some influencer promoted it and said, like, this is going to be a good investment. And it's like, these are people with normal income levels that are trying to figure out the best way to not, you know, suffer the consequences of hyperinflation and not get left behind. And they have severe, you know, fear of missing out on these kind of, you know, opportunities to blow up. They see all the people getting, you know, these fucking pictures of apes and like crypto punks and this and that, you know, tripling their money, quadrupling their money. And they end up the ones getting the rug pulled out from them, or individuals who just lose their money in general because the project never goes anywhere. Because like, what is it? It's not even a fucking project. It's a picture of a fucking elephant with a, I don't know, like make up a fill in the blank animal with this or that. And that's like pretty much a project is like kind of what goes on now. Hire, you know, a half-assed artist to, you know, come up with some bullshit. And you've got 99% of the projects out there. So if you want to see the details on this, Lana Rhoades rug pulled me. Like he's caught so many people in the act. It's fucking mind blowing. Jake Paul, Soulja Boy, Lil Yachty. Mark Cuban, this is the @NFT Instagram account that we covered, by the way. This is, you know, one of Mark Cuban's business endeavors, apparently. Let's see, what other ones do we have in here about insider trading? Dan Locke. Dan Locke. Haven't heard about that guy in a minute, dude. Steve Will Do It, I think, had some pretty bad. Oh yeah, the Save the Kids thing. That was a pretty fucking a pretty insane one. Yeah, like some of this stuff's wild. The Tether thing going on too. It's like, I don't know what the outcome of all of this is, but it doesn't seem like it's going to be good, or it's just a bubble that constantly inflates forever. I don't really know what to think of it at this point, and it's hard to really like get on board with NFTs when I guess the majority of the media is either like on a hype train about it, or there is like exposing videos about how scammy they are. It's like hard for anybody to really like meet in the middle. And the problem is the people who are on this side who are promoting these projects and whatnot, they just kind of like make you seem stupid for not understanding it, to a point where you can't help but feel like the scammy energy coming from it. Like maybe some of them aren't scams, because ultimately if you have a picture of a cartoon and it goes up in value, like I guess you've made money hypothetically if you can then sell it. But at the same time, it's like, who, at what expense? Is this just artificially inflated through market manipulation from fucking like rich tycoons and shit? That's what it seems like. That's what it seems like. It seems like a lot of influencer hype, and it seems like something that most people are going to lose on, unfortunately, rather than, you know, get lucky.
Took the money. I mean, look, honestly, guys, all I want is the same thing I've wanted all along, which is for her to return the money to investors. I guess that makes me some kind of a freak, some kind of a disease of the internet, wanting people's money returned to them. Look, guys, she can't do that, right? How can this millionaire possibly live on millions of dollars minus like $1 million? How can she live if her net worth goes down like 1%? I mean, what do you want her to starve? What does this world come to, where Lana Rhoades is being ridiculed while Putin is invading Ukraine? Now, I will say one positive thing that has come of my coverage, right? Lana has once again taken an interest in her NFT out of nowhere, posting for the first time since she disappeared. She said it's all in the holders if they're going to make their money back.
By the way, her excuse for bailing on the project was that people in her Discord server were being mean. Yeah. So basically she made all these, you know, random fucking cartoons that have value essentially drawn out of thin air, apparently, based on nothingness. And she's going to increase the value of them through this, you know, roadmap of a bunch of like empty promises, essentially, and then bails on the project. And then when people are waiting for her patiently to come back and to figure out what the fuck is going on, and if they just lost a bunch of money, got scammed, she basically says people are being rude and mean, so she doesn't want to come back. And like, why would she? You know, if people are being mean, like, I don't want to have to deal with it. And it's just like you bring this on yourself. It's fucking baffling. When you start a business that is basically just saying to people, I want you to give me money, and in return, you will get a return on your investment plus some, you know, people expect you to at least fucking stick around and like fucking talk to them about what's going on. And when they lose their money, like you better have a good explanation, not just like, oh, people are being mean, I gotta go now. And then fuck you guys. Like your entire audience that is literally giving you the money, you're saying fuck you to. Like baffling. Like at least refund them, like in full. Like this is not, the hit on your credibility is not worth you holding the money that you're already rich without it. Like, how is this a good play? It makes no sense to me. How a lot of celebrities like really don't seem to be long-minded at all about their reputation. And it's just absurd, the short-sightedness of this entire 99% of this industry seemingly.
Quote, I'm not saying I can turn this investment around for anyone or make anyone profit. That is up to you guys at this point. Now, I do find this funny that she's basically like, look, I'm back, but it's all on you. I hold no responsibility here for what happens to your investment, even though it was all my idea, actually.
You gave me tens of thousands of dollars. Now you got to make it fucking work, bitch. You figure it out.
Look, I'm even saying a partial refund at this point. I'm bargaining, dude. I'm way past full refund. I'm just saying, look, she denies she made $1.5 million. Instead, Lana Rhoades says she got a cut of that. But if that's the case, fine, give that money back, right? Give that money back to investors. Like, where's the talk of that? I wonder if they're like in a room discussing this scandal Lana Rhoades has going on and they're talking about like how to handle it.
Dude, like even that doesn't matter. I think partial refund, like it doesn't matter if you had to fucking pay somebody to make it or do whatever. If you make a product and it's damaged in transit or whatever, like best practice is immediate refund. If we have FedEx like completely dismantle a product from shitty handling practices and they chuck the fucking package around and a pre-workout shows up on your doorstep like smashed to bits and you email customer service, like that should be a instant fucking refund or replacement. Like that's the most logical conclusion. Like how is this worth? The ROI on it just makes no sense. Like long term, if you want these people to be on your fucking OnlyFans or like whatever it is, do you think they're gonna willingly want to give you money in other business endeavors if you don't just like take the hit and fucking refund them? No, this is gonna severely fuck up your long-term reputation.
And someone's in the back like, hey, maybe we should refund them. Another guy's like, hey, maybe we should like deliver on what we promised everyone. And Lana Rhoades is like, no, wait, I've got it. We'll blame it on Ukraine.
Yeah, that's basically it, dude. So anyways, that is the Coffeezilla video. I watched quite a few of his videos and definitely think it's worth checking out his channel. Always staying up to date on the latest and greatest crypto scams and whatnot, and just in general following like what is trending and what's hyped in like the financial crypto space, because it's good to stay informed so you don't get scammed. Because again, like I am essentially an angel investor at this point, and I try to park my money in things that make sense. And obviously with this NFT hype, I'm like, oh, is this like something that makes sense? You know, like I hold a portion of my portfolio in crypto. But again, like the NFT thing, I just like couldn't wrap my head around it, nor do I have time to sit there and research about what cartoons fucking make sense. And then it turns out the majority of them end up being scams. And it's just like, you know, the logical next step apparently for influencers is to make the scam, you know, like why invest in shit when you can just make the fucking scam yourself and ruin your entire credibility for a quick buck, you know? Obvious conclusion, right? Like who needs to have a long-term career when you can fucking implode it, probably the correct terminology, in a matter of a couple days, you know? Probably the better thing to do. Anyway, so that is, let's see, this video is an opinion and in no way should be construed as a statement of fact. Scams, bad business opportunities, and fake news are just subjective terms that mean different things to different people. I think someone who promises $100K a month for an upfront fee of $2K is a scam. Others would call it a Napoleon Hill pitch, which is funny because I actually read that book and a lot of people have been inspired by, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, and it turns out that entire story is like fabricated too. It's like, who do you believe, dude? It's fucking baffling. So anyways, but I guess that's an interesting story, by the way, if you go look into that and the history of that Napoleon Hill book, but another story for another time. And yeah, check out Coffeezilla. And I don't know, I guess I'm interested to see where this NFT thing goes, obviously, you know, where if these people can maintain, you know, their, audience, I don't know, a relationship with their audience even after the fact on this stuff. A lot of them do have short memories seemingly, or they have such massive audiences that they don't mind completely ostracizing a big chunk of them and completely fucking them over because they'll just gain more new people as they grow down the line. I don't know, that's what it seems like the move is. But I just don't see a lot of them having longevity, you know, in the entrepreneurial space when they do stuff like this. You know, maybe in the short term, people still are on board because they're, you know, I don't know, a young, hot fucking chick or, mega trending influencer. But down the line, at some point, the quality of what you're putting out has to stand on its own, in my opinion. So those are my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. All the comments help the algorithm, and I much appreciate it. Like, subscribe, check out my blog, replacementdates.com. Follow me on Instagram, at replacementdates, Facebook, Snapchat, Twitter, TikTok, Apple Podcasts. If you want to support the channel, you can check out anything I'm associated with in the video description below. My preventative medicine and hormone replacement therapy platform, where we connect you with high quality doctors who represent the same quality of information I try to put out on my channel, with the most cutting edge literature represented in our practices, our diagnostics, our evaluation of those diagnostics, and interpretation to the patients for high quality education, providing you with the best insight into your quality of life, vitality, ways to improve through lifestyle interventions, dietary manipulation, sleep hygiene practices, as well as pharmacology if warranted. So you can check that out if you want high quality medical oversight from somebody who is actually most informed with the most cutting edge literature and is on top of it. Because unfortunately, a lot of medical professionals simply do not task themselves with staying up to date with what would be best practice based on current evolving evidence being presented. As well, Gorilla Mind, nootropic formulas, Gorilla Mode, pre-workout formulas. I designed myself from scratch. Recommended diet model for gaining muscle and sports performance whilst being mindful of micronutrient intake and gut health. Clothing company that sponsors me and anything else I'm associated with. It's all in the video description below. Talk to you guys soon.